सौभाग्यं धनसम्पदा शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योति नमोऽस्तु ते।
Good evening, everyone. CRDE Center of Resource Development for Educators. Welcome each one of you for our Tuesday's webinar. I welcome today's speaker, Mr. Sandeep Deshmukh. CRDE is a platform where like-minded people come together, share their experiences, which can be utilized for other educators at any moment of time. So this is a flagship program of CRDE. Twice a month we do this recording of this Tuesday webinar content, and we'll put it in the website so that any educator can use it later at any moment of time. I request Ms. Sadhana Srivastava to continue with the proceedings of the webinar. Sadhana, please.
Thank you, sir. To continue about something more, I would like to say about CRDE. It was founded on 5th of October 2021. It is a true gift to the teaching community actually. And it is the vision of two dedicated educators, Dr. Suresh Nair and Mrs. Deepa Desai. CRDE was created with powerful thought that is when teachers grow, the entire education system grows. So CRDE works to nurture teachers' talents so that students, school and society can benefit as a whole. So with this, I would like to welcome our guest and welcome all the participants of this meeting. Good evening to all. I would like to say some few lines in Hindi. I think Kabir Das has said this, that chalti chaki dekhkar सीख ले मानव ज्ञान, जो दिशा को जान गया वही पाए सही पहचान. These lines beautifully reflect the reality of today's learners, where for them options are more. But they have very few clarity and directions, and they are confused. To get this clarity and direction, today we are honored to have with us Mr. Sandeep Deshmukh, an architect by profession and a career counselor by choice. He has over 2 decades of experience in guiding students. His passion for education led him to establish Study Abroad Launch Mass Education Consultants with the vision of helping students to build confidence in their educational journey. Today's webinar will help students to gain clarity regarding their future career options and also help educators to guide students. With this thought, let us begin today's session. Once again, on behalf of CRD, I welcome our guest, Mr. Sandeep Deshmukh. Mr. Sandeep Deshmukh, now it's over to you.
Thank you, Mrs. Srivastava.
Thank you, sir.
It's an honor to represent CRDE, and I would like to personally thank Dr. Nair for inviting me over here to have a webinar with fellow educators. Today's topic is not about teaching teachers what to teach. It is not about teaching teachers what is their role. As a counselor, I have had certain experiences and insights which I would like to share. And there are some very important points which I would like to discuss out over here. The topic, when knowledge is everywhere, what is the role of teachers? Now, this topic comes from my personal experience while counseling students. Before I go into the depth of this topic, I would like to ask few questions. One of the primary questions is, where do students actually get their learnings from today? Most of the common answers is they get it from schools, they get it from tuition classes, they get it from different mentors, they get it from internet. Nowadays, they get it from AI tools. Or I could rather put it this way, that it's a mix of all this that they get most of their learnings. Now, the question is, knowledge is no more limited to institutes and teachers. Explanations are everywhere, answers are instant, and practice is unlimited. Now, if all there is there out there, then why are children really going to school every day? I mean, what is the point? School has become a routine. Yes, please. Somebody just put up a, yeah, you can talk.
Definitely, knowledge is spread everywhere, but school is the place where knowledge is given in a proper format, age-appropriate knowledge, and combination of all the subjects, which will be helpful for them in the career further and in the society further.
I absolutely agree, and I am not going to debate anything out over here because you being teachers
I would
around teaching so many teachers, this is one perspective which I get because I get to counsel a lot of students. So what I will get over here in this webinar is not about subjects or not about things related to direct curriculum per se, but my perspective, what happens is when students come to me for counseling, I see some gaps, I see a disconnect. So what I'm going to talk about in this session is about this specific gap and this specific disconnect. And I would like to point out how we as counselors and you all as teachers and mentors, we can work together so that the student has a better future. Yeah. Yes, sir. You were saying something.
no. I just wanted to add, like it's like in a temple that when God is everywhere, why we should go to temple?
Absolutely.
Exactly,
Absolutely. Yes.
exactly the same
Absolutely.
condition. Like
Yes, absolutely. And I wouldn't debate that. I would just want to add certain things so that it becomes more richer. So as parents, even I am a parent of two children, and as parents, we send, students or children to school for discipline, for safety, for structure. But actually, internally, what we think is we are looking for direction. We are looking for confidence. We are looking for identity. Okay, so what you see is what parents are sending the school for something, but they are expecting something else out of the school. So this is exactly the disconnect which I am talking about. The disconnect between the parents or the expectation and what the school is actually giving. So this disconnect is something which we will talk about in this session further. What can and cannot be done? What is the new proposition for schools and teachers? What are the things which can be given and what cannot be given? What is available in the market and is, I won't say a competition, but what students try to get information from or seek knowledge from is related to content, related to notes, related to videos and practice. So there is abundance of knowledge available out there. But what they cannot get is observation. They cannot get identity. They cannot get confidence. They cannot get direction. Schools and teachers don't win on content anymore. It is no more about content. It is no more about subjects, teaching chapters or lectures, nothing. It is students, schools and teachers win on context, not on content. What does context do? This is a very important fact. What does context do? Context creates awareness. Context gives you clarity needed to interpret information, make better decisions, and grasp the true meaning. Now, this line seems to be a very normal line, but it is an extremely important line in terms of readiness. Now, what do I mean by readiness? When children or school students, when they pass out from school and when they are going to college or when they are coming for career counseling, most of the parents and students, they come and ask, which career should I choose? What is the direction I should take? Unfortunately, in spite of all the guidance, in spite of all the technology, we realize there are some key informations or key things which are missing in the student himself. The student is not aware. He is not self-aware. Why I'm saying this? It is not a theory. It is based on the guidance which I have given to a lot of students. And through these students, I've constantly got this feedback. And what I've realized is students are not about lacking of intelligence. They are lacking self-awareness. And what is the scale of confusion? There are more than 3,500 career options, but there is no direction. There is no internal compass of the student. So what happens? There is confusion. Careers are expanding rapidly, but students can't articulate what their strengths are. So what happens is there is a decision paralysis. They don't know what actually to do. Though we can guide them about different careers, we cannot directly guide them, or we cannot convince them, or rather activate them regarding self-awareness. That takes a long time. Career confusion is not a symptom at all. Is a symptom. The root cause is actually self-unawareness. That is the root cause of confusion in students. Now, a lot of students who come to us, they pretty much come a little bit late because their identity and confidence levels are already formed at school level. Teachers shape students' careers before they actually appear, because habits form early, labels stick, and confidence solidifies. Teachers influence students long before career decisions begin. So while doing overseas education counseling, there are some key information or key insights which I got. The students who are successful abroad, it is not about their marks at all. It is about self-direction, communication, adaptability, and ownership. These are the students who are actually succeeding overseas. It is not their grades. Unfortunately, most of these things solidify earlier in their life, not later. Later, it takes a lot of time to develop. So, from my perspective, if you have solid foundation, you can have a flexibility in your career. With the current scenario of AI, jobs, though there are many jobs, lot of kids, lot of young adults are not getting jobs. They are not getting jobs because they are just going by the books. There are a lot of other things which the student needs to have. And that happens when you have a strong foundation. When you have a weak foundation, then it becomes a problem. Then you may face, you may not get jobs. Self-awareness is that foundation. And the school can lay that base. So from my side, the point over here is the core lens has to shift. Teachers teaching subjects has to change to shaping directions. The old lens was about finishing syllabus, completing chapters. The new lens has to be noticing patterns and building beliefs. when I say one meaningful line can change a trajectory, this I will explain you in the next sheet. Basically, what happens is when teachers are there, they spend a lot of time with students. They already see more than they realize. But unfortunately, a lot of times, because the teacher are going through uh, with the student's journey, it's easy to label them as naughty, lazy, weak. Okay. So instead of just saying naughty, lazy, or weak, why don't we change our perspective or start observing certain things? Like the thinking style of the student, the energy direction, the problem solving approach. Now, what are the things I am talking about? It is very simple actually, and it's very effective. If you follow this system, it will do wonders to your kid. For example, we often say misbehavior. Misbehavior is a problem. Actually, if you divert the energy of misbehavior and if you see it as risk taking ability, leadership, creativity, and planning, okay, it changes the entire dimension of the way you would see that student, right? So, what I am trying to say is the energy is not the problem, it is how it is put across to the student. Understanding redirects energy, punishment suppresses it. The same way you can use this logic every time you interact with a student. If a student is a student who likes to explain, that means his ability is to articulate. Okay. If he likes to fix things, he can get into fields like engineering. If he likes to organize things, he has leadership skills. If he likes to draw, if he has visual thinking, he can go into designing. Okay, so what happens is, what as teachers, what we can do is look out for career signals. What are the habits of the student? Careers are decoded, they are not chosen. Now, how do you implement this in school? Now, this is a very important question, because what happens in school is you already have a system in place. You hardly have any time. You have subjects to be taught and things like that. Now, how do you orient or make students aware of careers or activate them towards careers? It requires small exercises. It could be a 5 to 10 minutes classroom practice. You do something like a role rotation, strength spotting exercise. You can give that maybe on a weekly basis. This 10 minutes exercise, you tell students to role play different roles, and then the next week you change those roles. This will help you find the strengths in the students. Okay, so this way you can give direction to the students. Roles are temporary, but once you give a label or an identity, it becomes permanent. If you tell the student that he is mischievous or he is naughty, it doesn't really help him. You need to articulate that thought process into something productive. Then it will work wonders. Instead of saying the student is weak or careless, think of it as fast thinker who needs structuring. This changes everything. Instead of telling him weak, you have to find ways to make the student motivated and activated. So what we are trying to do is find words which become inner voices of the student. Students borrow belief from teachers until they are built their own. Teachers are influencers. Influence is inevitable. The tone shapes confidence and feedback shapes courage. Intentionally or accidentally, influence happens, whether the teacher likes it or not. Now, what is the bottom line of this? What is the key takeaway over here? I am not here as a teacher or a person who's going to tell you how to teach. It's about the next thing. When student comes to me for counseling, I realize that the direction is missing. if teachers in the school and colleges, if they create some kind of method where there is some level of self-awareness generated in students, it will do wonders. Career confusion starts because of self-unawareness. If the student is aware, he'll be more confident to choose careers. There are multiple careers and students can do wonders. Okay, but they have to be self-aware. That takes time. So this webinar was a short webinar. I just wanted to share my experiences and what can be done so that the students come out as more self-aware. In a world full of information, the teacher's greatest gift is helping students see themselves and make themselves self-aware. That's all from my side. If you have any questions or if you have any thing to say, you can always tell me.
Sir,
Yes.
you're very right to say that teachers influence their students. I share my experience with you. I was teaching Hindi in secondary section. So in an English medium school. So my students, they pass their MA in Hindi. I just asked them, why did you do a MA in Hindi? They said, ma'am, you have taught us Hindi. The way you taught us, the way you influenced, the way you introduced the subject to us. So even they did the MA in Hindi, and now they are one of the students, she is a professor in Sophia College. So I feel teachers motivate their students to the maximum. Your personality, your thoughts, it influences your children. They influence the students.
Definitely. They influence a lot. And what I would say is key, yes, teachers influence, but we also need to activate the student.
Yes.
So what happens is if the teacher is really good and teacher does motivate the students, they get motivated, but there is still the inner or the main point here is the activation in terms of the career growth. So the motivation is there, but the motivation is, let's say, limited to the subject.
Yes.
Okay. So what's happening is the teachers are doing their bit, but now the thing is we also need to look at the career trajectory. That means when the student passes out, he may be a brilliant student and he has got motivated and he has done much better than what he was doing before is good. But the shift from just the syllabus education to the career readiness or being ready for the world is something which needs to be a shift in mindset where we try to figure out which is the direction this kid is taking. So my examples were about, can we find out something which is the key strength of one student? Okay. If he is a person who likes to explain, okay, you have to start looking at it in that direction where if he's able to explain things in which are the careers which need explanation kind of a person. Okay. Or a person who's creative, or a person who shows leadership skills. Can we take him one step further towards that? Can we give him direction? Because till the point he gets activated, after he passes 10th or 12th also sometimes, he is clueless. He doesn't know what he wants to do.
Yes, very true.
So what we need to do as educators is take that effort to see if he can take that one step or two step, so that instead of he experimenting in 11th standard, 12th standard, or in fact sometimes after graduation, it would be better if some direction is formed earlier, so that if he's interested, he can pursue it and he can be a better professional or a better citizen. I mean, he gets a direction faster, he gets activated, because I have a lot of students who come and they are clueless. What's happening? It's like they sit in a train and they get down at the next station. So they get out after 10th, directly outside the school, and they have no clue what they're doing. So the direction has to be given. some form of direction, not a forced direction, but something which is inorganic, which can be figured out during discussion with the students. Something like that. So that is something which could really help students going forward. So one of the things is with this NEP 2020, why the government is also coming up with this skills initiative, okay, is one of the reasons is actually this, in spite of the education, okay, there are no jobs available because there is no capability. Why there is no capability? Because initially the students don't have direction. They are just studying. They don't know what they're doing. Okay, so there is no application of mind. There is no awareness. So what I am trying to say is, can that direction be given early? Okay, if skills is something which the government is anyways trying to force into the education system, which is a good thing. Okay, can we as educators do something about it so that the student become more capable rather than just educated? That's the intent of the webinar. That if we can create something like this, it will work wonders for students.
No, what I would like to say is, suppose we have an exit interview at the secondary level, say at the end of 8th, calling each child and trying to find out, just through his academic strengths and scores and any other curricular activity, if a teacher can identify through an exit interview for each child on the last open house day. And then just try to find out and then make the child move in that direction or call the parents and express, or somewhere it's recorded in their record sheet. Could that be done? Or could that, I don't know, Chandrakala ma'am, being a principal, can, the principals around can share, through an exit interview, in many places, when you're in an organization or especially when you're in professional courses, you have an exit interview. Similarly, could we think of something like this at the secondary level, wherein students, just put in, so that they just at least identify their areas of interest and move in that direction, or they at least think about in that direction rather than being clueless. Okay. What the resource person is saying is absolutely right. Many children come, they're clueless. My friends are doing this particular thing, so I'm going to do it. So peer pressure makes them go in that direction. Alternatively, parents' expectations and pressures are thumped upon them. So madam, you can, actually throw some light.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, Sandeep sir, for highlighting. Definitely, career counseling is one of the most important factor. Merely getting education will not help. Choosing the right career is equally important. So the problem actually, as a school principal, I face that children go with herd mentality. My friend is doing commerce, so I will do commerce. My parent want me to do this. And because of that, very few professions are highlighted. Engineering, medical, and you can say some of the new career options. So when we offer career counseling to them, parents feel ki it is not necessary. That mindset we need to change. The mindset of choosing the right career we need to change. And Indian students are having very vast knowledge. Actually, they have caliber also, just a right push. They are not aware about the scholarship. They are not aware about the different career option, subject combination. Especially when we talk about CBSE, ICSE, they give combination option from the grade 9. So children know their direction. I'm taking economics because I want to go in commerce. I'm taking science. But same does not apply in state board school. They study all the subjects. So here I feel as educator that sometimes I feel helpless to change the parents' mindset. So we make sure that throughout the year, 2 to 3 career counseling sessions are happening with them. They are visiting any career counseling event nearby. And if parents permit and if the budget permit for school as well as parent, we make sure that one-to-one proper systematic counseling and afterwards reporting, and afterwards different options are given to them. Parent feel that maybe the book contains the career counseling booklet information which is not correct, but they give you the right direction. As Sandeep said, you must be speaking to the children, and they must be telling school is not the right place. They feel frustrated, but again, see, we need to run academics. We need to run academics. We need to run portion, and even parents are also nowadays very competitive. They don't want to see their child's caliber. They want to see that everyone is getting 90, 99. Everyone should get the top college, which I feel not correct. You can do from any local college, but your dream should be clear and you should work slowly and gradually towards your dream. Thank you.
Absolutely agree to what you are saying, and you're bang on when you say that, parents at the end of the day, they are looking at marks, and they want to see that the highest score is scored. But these are all short-term courses. You will be surprised that I have had students and parents, they are calling me while filling the form, engineering college form, after doing a thorough career counseling, that, for example, the student is fit for electrical engineering. They blankly call me and say, okay, the form for electrical engineering is done, so can I get into civil engineering? Now, this is ridiculous, to say the least. But this is what happens. This is the reality, where after 10th, or rather during 10th vacations, students are joining JEE and NEET both together. Okay, spending lakhs of rupees on tuitions, and finally neither going in engineering, neither going in medical, and doing something else. So this is a rat race, and unfortunately, this is waste of time, waste of money, and waste of talent, all put together. And this is the very reason why somewhere you may feel that I'm passing the buck to you again, that you do the work, though students are coming to me. But the fact remains that somewhere maybe I do agree that you are creating the system where you have 2 or 3 career counseling sessions, which is good. Dr. Iyer also spoke about some kind of a session which can be open school session. But the key here is not actually the sessions. It's actually the activation of mind, the awareness. Till the point the student gets activated, this is not going to work. That means that, as I gave you an example, that is just an example. It is not a deep thought example, but it is still an example of role playing. The role playing example was to make sure that somewhere that activation happens. That means in a week or maybe in a month, you have a session, not a big session, maybe a 10-minute session where you give actual roles to students. Create a short curriculum or whatever, so that they understand the role, they play the role, and the role changes every month. And this is additional work for you, I do agree. But this definitely will activate, and you will understand the strengths of students, because the biggest problem with students is they don't know their strengths, and that is why they are not able to tell the parents that this is what they want to do, right? And the parents are left clueless because they want to be safe than sorry. So safest is give JEE, give NEET, and hope that they score high and they get into the top universities, right? I and you would both agree that it is not necessary that you will be successful by going to the top institute, right? You can go to the bottom institute also and be very successful, right? So it is not relevant. What is relevant is hard work. What is relevant is direction. What is relevant is being aware. So this is something which, if possible, if role plays or something like that can be done, it would be great. It would really help the student. Activation and awareness is more important than telling students about you have 3,500 career options. I can tell them, I can give you a session where I can tell you about each and every career. It's not going to help the students at all. Okay, they will be just, oh, there are so many options. But when they pass out after 10th, they are going to do JEE again, they are going to NEET again, right? So
Agree. We have to work together.
yeah,
We have to work together. We have to create awareness.
yes,
So more than student session, we need to take parent session.
Yes.
That parents are more aware about the
actually,
different options.
yes, yes, absolutely. That's a valid point, and most of the time, I try to do that with parents because unless they are aware and they understand the importance, children are just going to follow like herd.
Very true.
I would like to add a little different ideas. It's not nothing new. Nowadays, not nowadays, even before also it was there. I mean, aptitude test is also was there. Even it is there now also. So if the student and the parents do this aptitude test, then at least I mean it is not necessary that whatever the test results is given that only should be taken, or it only will be, or it may be 100% right or correct, I cannot say, but at least up to certain extent the interest of the students may be known. Accordingly, the student can see majority of the students, I what I found is they are clueless. As Sandeep sir said, they are clueless. See, if I ask any 10th standard student, sometimes 12th standard students also, at least 10th standard student, what do you want to be later? So, chalega, kuch bhi, means not decided or not such specific interest. Like that they say. So then ultimately they will go for NEET and JEE and all the things, and wherever they reach, they will reach there. But instead, and this career orientation, yeah, career seminar, according to me, should be kept in the 9th standard, 10th standard, in between. Not just as a namesake thing kept. If it is kept and it is not okay, since as you said, there are 3,500 careers, and if we say all 3,500 careers, what happens is the students will lose their interest in any of these. Instead, few which are generally the students used to take, out of which there are, I mean, out of except this, there are so many that if they are interested, if you are interested, you can give more. But otherwise, this will be a periodical thing if they give it in the 9th standard and 10th standard. Then and here what I faced before is the when aptitude test comes, of course nothing comes free, of course, nowadays, so you have to pay for it. So 5,000, 7,000, and it's been with it. But parents have got money. They have got money to spend 1.5 lakhs, 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs for integrated coaching for JE, NEET, etc., etc. But they don't have 5,000 rupees to check their, I mean, children, I mean, child's aptitude.
So
If they
absolutely.
knew that aptitude, I mean, my child is having, okay, you don't take it, but at least you find out the aptitude. I mean, this is his interest. Then what he is doing, what he wants to be, etc. So combine together and we'll see that whether this is matching or not. If it is matching, they can go further to that particular line, and then he or she can excel in that field. Otherwise, what happens? ये JEE में गया, नहीं मिला तो उसमें गया, या नहीं मिला तो जो मिला वो मिला बस. तो उसमें कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, ऐसे किया. And as you said rightly that students nowadays they go with the peer pressure. My friends are going for this, I am also going for this, just to keep the friendship, that's all. But later on they will realize after 12th and all, my friends will go as per their this thing, and I will remain as wherever I was. So that is the thing.
we do this psychometric analysis
Yeah,
test,
that's
this
what I was
aptitude
saying.
test with the students, and we have also seen that students who come a little early, like 8th standard, in fact 7th standard vacation, 8th standard, 9th standard, they get much more better oriented, okay, because they have time on their hands. So there is time which helps them to find direction. It's very early to say ki I want to pursue certain X thing and you will end up doing X thing. Very few students are able to do that at an early stage. But the direction is very important, and that direction and awareness is the key factor. And this test and this counseling sessions do help the student create that awareness and have the direction. So it's important that they do that. And with the AI which is happening, a lot of actually jobs are at stake. Many youngsters are facing this problem of getting jobs. So it's more important that they are aware of their strengths so that they are ready for the future challenges.
I have come across with this situation also. I mean, see, in foreign countries, when when a child reaches sixth standard, their teachers will just call the parents and say that, mean, your child is interested in this, your child interested is in this. So, and they do consider each and every field like the same field. Like, for example, carpentry. Carpentry is one of the job aspects over there, but here we do not consider. We are only carpenter's son will become carpenter. But their carpentry is a very good job opportunity. So, but by sixth or seventh grade, they will be guided. The students will be guided. That means your interest is on so you can, okay. So accordingly, of course, we cannot compare that with our system because we have a number of students in our classroom is entirely different. They have 15 to 20 and we have 40, 60, 70. So it is not an easy thing for our teacher to find out. But there must be some way this aptitude test and all, if it is not that much costly, that parents can take it and go ahead.
To tell you frankly, as you rightly put it, the cost which the parents pay is 10 times more and it multiplies every year compared to the career counseling cost. When they end up spending for different classes, choosing wrong careers and pursuing it, every year the cost multiplies.
So one thing I would like to ask you, most of the time what we have seen that students that do their engineering or MBBS or any high-end degrees, but then later on they end up doing some other things like I've seen some who have done their IITs, but they have become a singer or they start doing the paintings or some other work. So what is your opinion in this field? What to do? Because they are completing their education. They are doing their IIT. But later
I
on, they
understand.
become the singer, or they become painter, or they become even DJs, or they become even radio jockeys.
So it is not one hat that fits all. There are different reasons and different motivations for each people, and it is not common or rather uncommon for something like this to happen. So, for example, what has been happening for the last decade or more is after 10th standard, the biggest protocol is most of the students end up doing science. Okay, why? Because it is the safest field. Now, why it is safest? The logic is because you can enter into any field if you are into science. If you are in commerce, some of the options get deleted. If you are in arts, further options get deleted. So the logic of the parent is हमें वो option end तक open रखना है. So what they do, they tell the student even if he is a student who is not good in science, they will put him in science. Why? Because so that options remain open. Now, once he is in science, the next pressure is कि कहाँ डालें. So either you go into a safe bet, या तो आप इंजीनियरिंग में डाल दो, या तो उसको डाल दो मेडिकल. So this herd mentality has been said before. Now, अपने इधर there is a big show of IIT. What happens in IIT is IIT में डाल दिया मतलब he will come out with flying colors. Now what you don't realize is कि IIT में जाने के बाद वो बच्चा सक्सेसफुल क्यों होता है, इसका रीजन किसको मालूम है? What is the real reason behind getting into IIT and then coming out successful? Is it because they teach something which other engineering colleges are not teaching, or is it something else? Now, if you actually get into the depth of it, you will realize that an institute is not just about teaching the syllabus. There are multiple aspects about institutes. Okay. So, for example, if you see abroad institutes, okay, or the ranking, which is not so well developed in India, though we have a ranking system, the system of ranking of institutes, in that the teaching quality is just one part of the ranking. There are multiple other things which make an institute number one institute. Now imagine an institute where a student has passed out and he is doing very well. Now he is called an alumni of that institute. If that alumni contributes to this university, okay, contributes monetarily, contributes in terms of connections, contributes in terms of professional education imparted, yeah, whatever way, it's a fantastic thing. That means if the alumni is doing good, he can do good to the institute. Okay. If the alumni is bad, what good he will do to the institute? So what does this mean? This means that why IIT is successful is not just because the education level is good. It is also because the alumni have been good. Now, it's a cascading effect. These alumni are contributing to the IIT again. Okay, so what you have to understand is, when you go to IIT, it is not because the education is good. There are a number of things. Now, if you don't get into IIT, क्या आपका काम नहीं होगा?
होएगा।
Okay, does that होगा, बराबर है। आपका काम IIT में जाने से ही होगा ऐसे नहीं है, आप किधर भी जाके आपका काम हो जाएगा। नाउ सवाल काम होगा इसका नहीं है, कितना काम अच्छा हो। ओके, दैट इज द मेन पॉइंट यू नीड टू आंसर। नाउ इफ यू आर अ पर्सन हु एनीवेज गोइंग टू IIT के बाद भी कुछ करने वाले नहीं हो, तो तुम दूसरे इंस्टीट्यूट में जाके भी क्या करो? ओके, सो right now what we are talking about is the motivation level. Okay, what happens when you go to a top institute is a totally different ballgame. If a person who's little motivated and he is fortunate enough to get into a higher ranked institute, what actually happens and why he becomes more successful, there is a different reason to it. Because all top students go into IIT, this average student also ups his game. Okay, so it's the nature of physics कि बाकी सब अच्छे हैं तो ये अपने आप ऊपर आए. Okay, it goes by logic. There is no other logic to it. He is not studying harder. It is just because the others are doing good. He by default increases his, you can say strength or whatever. But the same kid, if he goes into an average institute or a lower institute, what's going to happen? The students over there who are going there are average. Their ambitions are lesser. Their determination is lesser. So now this guy is coming in par with those students. So is he going to go up or is he going to go down? Mm-hmm. It all depends on his group, whether they are doing up or they are going down, right? So there is an advantage to go into a top ranked institute, but it is not necessarily the teaching. Okay, there are other reasons also. So there, it is not wrong to target top institutes, but that is not the reason why you will be successful or not. It is at the end of the day your responsibility, okay, and it is your determination which decides whether you will be successful or not, right? And same thing happens abroad. You go into Ivy Leagues, you go into top ranked institutes, or you go to average institutes. Okay, it all depends on you, how you perform, what kind of peers you have, and what kind of alumni who have passed out, whether they can give you connections. So the world has changed dramatically. Now it is no more about just education. It is much more broader. It is about connections. It is about networking and how you make the best use of the network.
Yeah, right? Correct.
Yeah.
No, I'm just listening. Yeah, I do agree with many points what you have asked also and what the resource person has said. But what is the way out and how do we convince schools, okay, to adapt to this procedure? Adopt, I'm not saying adapt, adopt and adapt to this procedure wherein they start teaching or give tips to students about careers themselves or make children think in that direction. Even a say session every term There are 2 terms, so in each term, if a teacher can take a session on different types of careers and what are the opportunities rather than restricting them to textbooks or while delivering content, either in science or mathematics, offering some career options at the same time. Talking
So,
about it, offering, no, talking about it, or at least directing it in a minuscule way,
so the
probably
minuscule
will
way,
create.
so the minuscule way is exactly what I was trying to say in the presentation. Is you start with very small things, and it is totally dependent on the teachers who are actually there in the classroom. These are very small things, and it matters a lot. Are you able to figure out the signals? Is extremely important. Now, when you are teaching in the class, when you have a session, okay, you have, let us say, 40 students. That's a lot of students for one teacher to handle in an hour, okay, and it's very difficult to actually do this practically over one session. But what is important is, if the teachers or the school is able to decode these signals, okay, if you find a student who explains beautifully, okay, if you find a student who's showing leadership qualities, okay, you already have those clues, have those signals with you. It is just about deciphering what the strength of the student is. And trust me, it will work wonders if you are able to decipher and find out these strengths in smaller ways. Okay, and these signals could come from many things. I gave you an example of mischief. Okay, I gave you this example because that also shows you some signals. What does mischief show you? Okay, if a kid is mischievous, he's planning something, right? He's taking some risk, he's showing some leadership skills, and he's showing creativity. Are the teachers or the school able to decipher this? Okay, in a small way. I am not saying create curriculums. Figure that out. Do not label him mischievous at all. Okay, if this is possible to figure out the energy in the correct way, it will do wonders. The kid himself will get motivated. Okay, you don't have to say कि अरे mischievous है तो और mischief कर. नहीं, you direct it properly and it will do wonders. Same way about different abilities. If you are able to decipher the abilities of the kids, it will do wonders. It will give a direction, a new meaning. That is where the role play also comes into play. When I am talking about role play, it means that you are trying to find out strengths in kids. So, for example, in 1 week or in a month, you give one student to be a lawyer, another student be a doctor. Okay, the third student can be a social media person, the fourth can be a teacher. Okay, and then the next month the roles change and you create some kind of a narration. It will help, it will give them awareness, it will start making them aware of how things are getting developed. You can practice ethics also in that. Okay, so it's not just about career orientation. You can create a narration and it will do wonders. It can teach them about the career readiness, and you can teach them about ethics as being better citizens as well. So it could be a mix of things, but these are all very small things. These are not huge curriculums. These are not sessions spread for hours. These are small sessions. These could be done even in game sessions. You have game classes, right? In a week, you have some game classes. Things like that can be done.
Yes, sir, I'm very much agree with you. Your point about mischief, we can channelize their mischievous.
Yes,
And these, what I have seen, most of the students, those who are really mischievous, they're very good leader and they're very good planner.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So that is what we need to channel, and that will help the students a lot. Okay, and it is every kid will show some kind of ability.
Correct.
We need to figure that out and channelize it so that they get activated. I mean, if we keep telling them mischievous है, उनको कुछ फर्क नहीं गिरेगा.
अगर उनको आपने
We have
लीडरशिप
to,
दिया, आपने उनको कुछ दिया रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, so what I have seen, they do their best at that time. A genius
exactly,
one
so
cannot
that's
do,
the
but
point.
people can do better.
Absolutely, and that is the key. That is the key which will help them, get activated and driven, and they will become more aware.
They are more
So
active.
choose,
Mentally, they are more active.
yes, mentally also more active and activated for being career aware.
Yes.
So they will be driven towards it. So that will help, right?
Lata ma'am?
Yeah.
Enjoyed the session. Good one. Sandeep ji, I would
Yeah.
just like to add the
Yeah.
sad part in our education scenario is the moment I find a mischievous child, of course, the state boards don't have a counselor as yet. They are still bargaining and borrowing. But all these top 5 schools have a good counseling system. But unfortunately, it's been my experience in so many years that any child found mischievous, any child found hyperactive is directed to the counselor because the teacher doesn't have even that much time to address the issue or go back to the parent or find out the real cause of the mischief. The moment he goes to the counseling room, he is branded as a not so good child. And then they come out with all their tests and give him another branding ADHD, SYD, whatever. It's the sad part, but I've seen so many children being branded like this unnecessarily for basic mischief, and especially the boys. And what happens is knowledge comes in loads when it's unwanted. The moment they go to that room, poor children, they are branded, and when they come to the class, the scenario is different. ए तू उधर गया था ना, तेरे को वो बोला क्या? Misunderstanding, and so sad a state of affairs I've seen. I've been counseling in international schools of late. Very sad, very sad. Any and every child, like you said, if it can be the mischief or the hyperactiveness or the, what do you say, the mathematical lacking or whatever, anything that is lacking in the child, if it can be detected and if it can be directed in the right direction, and especially the aptitude tests, I am very much against it. I don't know why, because I took my daughter when she was in 10th for the aptitude test at Xavier's, and it said very clearly that this child is not fit for engineering or medical. Madam, isko arts ही करने बोलो, journalism ही दो. And here was my daughter who had a wish from grade 5, I want to become a doctor. And touch wood, she did. We didn't discourage her at that time, keeping the aptitude test in mind. Go ahead, that was just one part of the plan. Everybody suggested you should do it at 10th. We did it. But then there also, sad to say, commercialization has come at every corner. Every corner. So the parent, first thing is the state boards have first generation learners, many illiterate parents. So they take that advice as God given. Aptitude test में ये बता दिया. Recently when I had counseling, I counseled the child first. Madam, what I want to become a football player. So why don't you go ahead? Madam, Papa, Mummy मानते ही नहीं है. They are not even allowing me to watch a match on the TV. And that child in the school football team, he's a leader. He has played matches for the school, but the parents don't want him to take sports as an activity. So such is the sad plight of the students, not getting to do what they want to do, being forced into NEET and G, and then being shouted and branded for their scores. Sad state. Something has to be done very fast, and I don't know. Like you said, excuses come at every corner. Every teacher, every school. Some says I don't have fun, some says I don't have time, some say the syllabus is more. So excuses come at every nook and corner. But then it's ultimately the child there in the classroom who is the sufferer of all our, excuses. A really connecting line has to be drawn very soon, and it would be great if counselors like you connect to departments, education officials, where you get into along with them and do, because the moment you come from outside, it's a private source. The SSC board students and schools will not even encourage the payment part. Again, parents will not be ready to pay. So once you come in as an official or with an official letter from the education department, it works wonders. So do try that, Sandeep ji. It would be great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
At the end of it, no, I just see two things here. One is the role of the school, and we provide mass education. We talk of quality education, but we provide mass education. There are students sometimes about, say, 70 to 75 number in each classroom. So how do we cater, and why do we talk of counseling there? Even managing the classroom becomes a big problem. So one is that, and two, changing the mindset of parents. What I gathered from all these discussion, if these two areas are addressed, if the teacher could find a way out, even with having a large number of students in her classroom, if she can manage to somewhere draw their attention through a general talk or a common talk, probably that could be one. And the other, having talks with parents on a constant basis and changing their mindset. Everything is atomized these days. We have super specializations. So similarly, even careers also, there are so many. A child need not become one or the other. We don't brand them. We try to give them various options. Even sports can become a career today. Anything can become a career today. So that's one thing, changing the mindset. These two are the main areas I draw from this webinar. Madam, over to you, Sadhna ma'am.
Suresh sir. Suresh sir.
I think Suresh sir, I think Sadhya has worked on him.
Yeah, right. That is also going on.
Yeah.
Because no one is at home, so that is also going on. But at the same time, I'm hearing also.
Sorry, sir, I never knew.
No,
you got
not at all. Not at all. It's a fact. No problem. If it is over, we can wind it up. No problem.
We can
Sandeep sir.
anyone want to say anything now?
Yes, yes.
Nothing? Okay, sir. End of the day, the session was so fruitful. And on behalf of CRDE, I sincerely thank Mr. Sandeep Deshmukh for such a fruitful session. And you are correct to some extent that students' future is developed at an early age, that at the school level. And the school level education is very important. That is a place, that is a level that we have to develop them, and we have to just give them an idea about various careers. So sir, thanks a lot for giving a valuable time, and thanks Amuja ma'am, Lata ma'am, Suresh sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the
Thank you.
opportunity.
Thank you all.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Good day.
Good
Yeah.
day.
Good day. Good
Thank
day.
you.
Good.